We start with the Red Sox and the Yankees. Were you surprised at all with how seemingly easily the Red Sox were able to dispatch their arch nemesis?
Yes. I mean, I was at all of them. And, after Game 2, I can tell you there was a lot of, nervousness in Boston. And just the way that game went with all the home runs and Price blowing up and Boston's bullpen having imploded in the first game, I think that overall, because of all those factors, it was just a notion that they were in trouble. And I picked the Yanks. I did. I thought the Yanks were going to win the series. And we get to New York, and that was a statement night. Cora made 4 lineup changes before Game 3, and then Eovaldi went out and pitched great. Cora actually predicted what he would do. He said, 7 innings, 1 run, which is what happened. And that kind of changed everything. And, the Red Sox never trailed in the 2 games there. And I know they almost blew it in, Kimbrel in the 9th inning of Game 4. But they led throughout. They did not give up a home run in 2 games there. And, so the totality of it was I would have picked the Yankees, and I was surprised the Sox were able to get rid of them in 4.
Do you think it's a mistake for Alex Cora to go back to David Price in this LCS?
I do, but he's on such a roll that you wonder. We know that Price has trouble in the playoffs as a starter. We know that he has a lot of trouble against the Yankees. And I think the Fenway crowd is not his friend. So all these things, the Yanks aren't part of the equation now, but I thought they would give him a safe landing spot in Game 4. You only have to pitch him once as a starter. You take him out of Boston, and you could use him in the bullpen absent that. And he pitched well in the bullpen against Houston in the playoffs last year. But those things, didn't happen. And so here we are. My guess is the analytics are telling him this is the way to go, and that Price is 39-19 over his 3 years in Boston. He's 20 games over 500. There's this notion that he's been some colossal bust thing. And no, by and large, he's been darn good. And he is their number 2 starter, and I think that they want the player to feel that way going into this series. And they must have there was a series in Houston this year. Boston, they only played some 2 series, and they lost the first 2 in Houston in a spring series, and then Price came out and beat them on a Saturday in Game 3 of the series and turned it around for them. So I believe it's a baseball decision. It's a little bit of a morale decision, and they obviously have some notion of what they're going to do with relievers, what they're going to do with Eovaldi, Porcello out of the pen, etc. And it's hard to question them right now, given how well things have worked.
Dan Shaughnessy, Boston Globe, joins us here on the show. As you mentioned, David Price has a complicated relationship right now in Boston. It's not that he's been terrible, but he is very much not a fan favorite because of his attitude, maybe his defiance, and certainly how he's performed in the postseason. How ugly do you think this would get between him and the city, which can eat its own, if he has a blow-up in a Game 2?
Well, things have pretty much bottomed out for him on multiple occasions here. It's hard to imagine it get much lower. Excuse me, and there's a lot of good feel around the team right now. But, his first year he won 17, he got $217 million. So that's the first strike against you. You start off with that, $31 million a year, better be the best. Well, he wasn't. But first year he won 17, led the majors in innings. I'll take that. It wasn't good enough here, and he blew up in his playoff start. The Tribe knocked him out in the 4th inning. So the legacy goes on. He can't pitch in the playoffs. Second year he gets hurt. He misbehaves. He insults Dennis Eckersley. He ambushes him on an airplane, never apologizes. Everybody hates him. This year you had some of the fortnight nonsense where he can't pitch because of carpal tunnel syndrome. In New York, we said it might actually be Lincoln Tunnel syndrome, whatever. And, he missed a start because of that. Then he finally starts in New York, gives up 5 bombs, and worst start of his career. And then in the playoffs, as you saw last week, doesn't get out of the second. So, there's a lot going on here. He's behaved much better this year. He's not the devil. He's a smart guy. I'm curious as to how he will react on Saturday. And again, the weather's another factor, DA, because, in Houston, climate control, you close the roof, everything's perfect. He likes that. The cold weather hasn't been his friend. You'll know pretty early on. If he's fidgeting and hesitant to throw, tugging at his uniform, then we're probably going into a bad, dark place.
So on Sunday night, we'll have the Chiefs and the Patriots, and
Yeah.
this could be an AFC Championship game preview. You know, this would feel like a bad matchup for the Patriots because the Chiefs can sling it all over the place, strong-arm quarterback, and the secondary of the Patriots is probably one of their weaknesses. Do you expect Patrick Mahomes to be able to exploit that?
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't think the Patriots are that good. I'm like Trent Dilfer, you know, but then they're always in the AFC Championship game 7 years in a row. I feel like a lot of it's smoke and mirrors now, that it's the coaching, it's the schemes, it's the conference, it's the horrible division they're always in. But that the people on the other side of the ball are as talented or more, but they just lose their minds. Bill O'Brien did that in the opener here this year. I mean, it's just like it's you can count on it. Kansas City's a little different. We know that they basically routed these guys in the opener last year in Foxborough, so they've got that. And we all remember 4 years ago in Kansas City when they spanked them. So not many guys left from that. But at the same time, I mean, New England's yeah, they look ripe for if an elite quarterback can carve them up. Is Mahomes that yet? He certainly has been to this point, but he's young. And Belichick, does pretty well against young quarterbacks.
Patriots fans bristle when I bring up the division, but is it not one of the greatest sports strokes of luck that the Patriots for 20 years have resided in a division where nobody else can get their crap together?
Yeah, and Patriot fans they're crazed about that, and they're wrong. I mean, it's not that the Patriots automatically win 6 games, or that. And the Pats fans will say, well, the AFC East against the field has this. Well, that's because the Patriots are in it. Of course they're better against the field. But no, Miami, Jets, Bills all suck year after year. That's it. 15 out of 17 for New England, 100 in a row, whatever it is. Play a little parlay game sometime and try to name the second-best quarterback in the AFC East in the last 18 years. It's probably Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, you might be able to make a case for Tannehill, Pennington with the Jets. And so it's this rotation of new coaches, new quarterbacks, new systems, and it just never gets any better. So by Thanksgiving, they've always got it wrapped up. So there's no push. Now, right now, there's a lot of 3-2 going on. We understand that. But the Dolphins came in here undefeated and were basically mathematically eliminated from the race while still being in first place. I mean, it all happened the same day. Anybody who watched that game knows what I'm talking about. It's over. That's it. So we know they're going to get the first-round bye, second-round home game, win one, you're in the AFC Championship. That's where they want to be. That's where they are every year. The division is a big part of that.
Dan Shaughnessy joining us this morning on the show. He is all over the Red Sox and the ALCS. He's all over the Patriots as well. Big one against the Chiefs coming up on Sunday. Obviously, you can follow him on Twitter at Dan_Shaughnessy and read his stuff in the Boston Globe regularly on all of this. Dano, it's always good to catch up, my man. Thanks so much.
Thanks, D.A.